So again, I'm here on DeepSeek AI. Today I was just organizing all of my interactions with these Shanghai local authorities in my quest for obtaining the court records from the three hearings I had at Yangpu court in my labor dispute, which is in appeal at the intermediary court. And both I and the intermediary court can't seem to get Yangpu court to release any of the records. And yeah, basically this whole thing started with my interpreter calling and them saying that the transcripts are on the court's website, but this is the only website. There's no record even of my trial at Yangpu there. It's like I don't even exist. And they said that the archives department of the Yangpu court doesn't have authority to release these records, only the judge and clerk. Now, I have on audio at the end of my last trial the judge saying, when I asked her to get these records, she said to call the archives department. And this is the third level judge. She's not brand new. She's third level. So either in her entire career, she has never released any transcripts or video records to any of the participants in a trial, plaintiff or defendant, or she's playing games with me, and she's playing games with me, you know. So I started a petition with the Yangpu Communist Party District Committee, blah blah blah. I don't know. I got this suggestion from 12345. The only authority you can call in Shanghai and speak English directly with, apparently, other than your banks. Banks in China, they also have an English line. So the response was basically like, ask the Yangpu court, and I explained to them 3 times that I already did, and that I'm messaging you, petitioning you, because I'm telling you that they're refusing to, and they're corrupt, and they don't want to release the records because it'll be obvious how corrupt they are in their bullshit decision. Excuse my language. I don't even know if bullshit's that strong a word, but nonsense decision, corrupt decision, whatever. So anyway, I went to appeal it to the intermediary court. So this is all I did to start my appeal of the Yangpu People's Court's decision. I just submitted this letter. Yeah, so decision and the letter. That's all I submitted in October. Yeah. And they accepted it. They accepted it, and then I petitioned again because I got a bullshit response, and again I got a bullshit response. Just like it's like robotic. These people might as well be AI. Anyway, here's the message of the Intermediary People's Court accepting my appeal that from Yangpu. So I'm in a labor contract dispute between myself. So I'm the plaintiff, and I'm suing 2 companies. This used to be called Huashang, and they changed their name. And this Chichang company. And interestingly enough, in this text message, it says that the judge reviewed the examination papers, investigated it, questioned it, blah, 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 and she determined that the case does not need to be heard in court, meaning orally. It could be heard in writing. So this told me that the judge got all the materials from Yangpu court, and she reviewed it and determined we can have a writing hearing instead of an oral hearing, which was in line with my experience in Shaoguan, where the intermediary court said it gets all the materials from the previous court, the People's Court, and the People's Court got all the materials from the arbitration court. So I got this text message, and I was angry because in my appeal that started this, that she accepted, I wrote that the Yangpu judge ignored all my evidence during these 3 hearings and is refusing to release these records and is, violating my right to properly appeal. And I'm asking the intermediate court to transfer all the materials to me. So this message, I at this time thought, okay, the intermediary court judge has all the materials, she reviewed it. I should be able to get it from her, right? Okay. So then the judge calls me. She speaks a little bit of English. I'm not really sure what we talked. It wasn't that long.
Translator. The court. I'm the judge.
Which court? Yangpu?
Number 2, the middle.
Intermediary court.
Yes. You can contract with the translator to call back to me.
I have to pay my translator, so why don't you just mail me whatever you want to tell me? Mail me in Chinese. Chinese is okay. I can read Chinese.
Can you read Chinese?
Yes, my phone can read Chinese, no problem.
Do you want to return a lawyer?
No lawyer.
Do you have a friend to help you to connect with me?
No, not until I hire another interpreter. I have to pay for the service.
No friends to help you without fee?
No.
Okay. I will send a message to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
And I didn't get a message until this one. So this is the message she sent me, which is fine. And then I got that message and I complained to her. Actually, I complained to the court. So this is addressed to the head of the civil department in the intermediate court. So basically her boss, supposedly. So 2 parts to this, because also in this intermediate court, for more than a year, I've been trying to submit another administrative lawsuit. So it's separate to this Yangpu People's Court. So I'm complaining about this judge that you just heard, because she's ignoring my demand for these transcripts. I'm not going to read out all this, but basically, after I sent this complaint, I got the court's judge's clerk to call me. She speaks pretty good English. And basically, she responds to this letter, and she says that the court does not have the materials. So again, it begs the question, if you're sending me this message, the judge, you are sending me this message, you are saying you have reviewed the materials and you have determined you don't need to do an oral hearing. So what materials did you review? What did you review? You reviewed what I gave you. So I gave you that letter. So I gave her this. This is the Yangpu decision. This is the English version. But basically, I gave her a copy of the Yangpu decision I'm appealing. Okay? And I gave her this letter. Okay? And in this letter, I'm accusing the Yangpu judge of being corrupt. Okay? So these are the two things you reviewed, and the judge is determining that after reviewing the decision, which I'm saying is corrupt, and the judge is hiding the records to hide her corruption, you're scheduling a hearing. Yeah. So I didn't like that. Doesn't make sense to me. It seems lazy, or just a continuation of the treatment I'm getting from Yangpu court. So anyway, we're going back to this. They say they don't have the materials that I need to ask Yangpu. I explain, like, my interpreter asked, and I'm getting run around in circles with archives department saying they don't have the power, and the judge saying ask the archives department. So anyway, she calls back again, says Yangpu can't mail me the transcripts, can't provide me the rules or regulations saying I can't get this transcripts or videos mailed to me, even though in my previous experience in Guangdong, I got the transcripts mailed to me. Here's the number of the Yangpu judge's clerk, and we scheduled to go there on December 2nd. So I made another video of this bullshit experience. Basically, I got there at Yangpu People's Court. They put me in a very loud, small, public place where there's lots of people walking by. They put in front of me a 10-year-old laptop, and they start playing the videos of the 3 hearings. Now, each hearing is about 5, sometimes 6 hours long. And another thing is, everything is in Chinese. So when I'm talking to my interpreter's talking to me in English, all of that's cut out. So why? And I was even told to come here without an interpreter. So, and they told me to come there at 2 p.m. So I don't know how they expected me to watch 15 hours of videos in Chinese. And then they also, they printed out, they printed this out. This is the Supreme Court's interpretation on video and audio recordings of people's courts. And they printed this out, and then they pointed to this article. The judge, the Yangpu judge's clerk, and the police officer that was the security guard there, who was speaking English with me, pointed to this article and said, "This is the law that says we don't have to give you the transcripts, the written records," which is saying that this, which is white, is black. So they're pointing to this and saying it's the opposite. And I'm yelling at the guy at that point because my phone can translate this. And as soon as I translated this, I'm like, I know this. I've known this for a year or longer. I've been trying to use this before in other courts. Anyway, I need to get back to my point of this video, which is I was going through this whole quest. And it was a joke. And I even called the intermediary clerk, and I told her this is a joke. Like, you expect me to sit here 15 hours listening to speakers from an ancient laptop I can barely hear, and then when I put my ear against the speakers, I can hear everything's in Chinese. All the English is cut out. Like, why? What's the point? You made me travel 1 hour across town for this, and then you're showing me the law that says I don't get the transcripts when the law says I should get the transcripts? It's a joke, you know? And it was shady too, because yeah, here's the law I mentioned that they printed out. I just showed you. Supreme Court's interpretation on how people's courts handle video and audio records. Anyway, you see this? She's angling her phone and taking pictures of me while I'm trying to open up her laptop and listen to the video of the hearing. this is her basically gathering evidence that, hey, we fulfilled our legal obligation to show you the evidence. It's a joke. That's the judge's clerk at Yangpu. Anyway, so it's obviously just childish, this kind of games that they play. I honestly need to shove a communist foot up their ass. Like, I guess they don't understand why the Cultural Revolution was initially so popular in China, because this is the sort of ingrained petite bourgeois bullshit people hate dealing with, you know. Um, so I complained to the CCDI of Yangpu district. So the CCDI is like a regulatory anti-corruption, and these guys ignored me. So I sent this out and never got a response from them. So I need to pay them a visit, because in the letter I wrote, I promised them I'll visit them. I got to take some pictures of the people who are in charge of anti-corruption in Yangpu. Shame them. That's what these videos are about. This is me following the system, following the rules, your own Chinese laws, and experiencing it, and just taking pictures of every incompetent, lazy, corrupt person I keep encountering. And then again, I petitioned again, you know, and you can see, like, I'm losing patience, you know. Anyway, so I'm compiling a list of other authorities that I can complain to before I leave China, because I need to do something productive in my life, and dealing with Chinese legal system, it's not encouraging. So I need to basically close this chapter of my life and go back home and do something else productive. Not to say that I haven't enjoyed, you know, figuring out something new like this. I'm a social scientist. I'm a political science major. So this is interesting. So I've compiled a list. These are deepseeks recommendations, by the way. So I'm going to be sending out letters and complaints and petitions, trying to see if I get any even response. Which brings me today to DeepSpeak. So I was basically saying to DeepSeek, I got this administrative lawsuit I'm trying to file against Yangpu Public Security Bureau. And I got this Yangpu People's Court, you know, not releasing these records. What should I do? And here's its recommendation. So file a complaint with the Supreme People's Courts. Gives a website. It gives an address so I can mail out to them. No phone number though, so I can't mail it out, because if you send by registered mail, you have to have a phone number where they can reach them. And it has to be the correct phone number. Trust me. So anyway, I go to the website. This is the Chinese version of the website. There's an English version, which unfortunately, the English versions of Chinese government websites like this are always limited in what they offer in options. You could just tell that immediately from how many options there are here compared to here. So the English version is always just, I don't know, propaganda. Like, what's the point of this? So I don't see anything here where filing a complaint would be, but I got to figure this out more. Okay. Second option, People's Procuratorate. Very unfamiliar with this institution. To be honest, when I came to China, this is the first time I saw this word, but it is common in Chinese legal language that you can, that these are an authority. They have some sort of function in legal disputes. There's a Shanghai one. There is a Supreme one. Again, gives me the address and phone number. So this is great. Next is this bureau. where you can send your complaint, address, but no phone number. So again, I have to do more research on this one. Check out the website. Again, this is like March 12th, so they just finished this big government meeting, which I'm very thankful for because hopefully my VPN will be easier to connect now because the last 3 weeks have just been impossible. Um, National Public Complaints and Proposals Administration, online letters and visits. Okay, so there's hopefully an online complaint request, suggestion, search and evaluation. Now, I just want to see, you got to log in with an ID number. How much do you want to bet a foreigner ID will not work? Which is a common problem in China. Getting your foreign ID to work with the Chinese system is not always that simple. So this is going to take some research. Anyway, then deepseeks suggests seek media or NGO attention. And it puts the Human Rights Watch. Now, today, this month, there's all the news about US aid, NGO, defunded, blah, blah, blah. Which is, I've known people who have studied American imperialism in the post-Cold War era know that these NGOs are just an extension of CIA soft power in overthrowing governments. And a lot of these other NGOs are corrupted, like the Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International. And they're very anti-China, like propaganda-wise. I'm not going to get into it, but if you think in Xinjiang there's genocide, I've been to Xinjiang, so I haven't seen it. I don't see people scared. I don't see mosques closed, but they redefine genocide as cultural genocide, which I don't know how you can do that. Because when someone says genocide, they think of like people being buried in mass graves, forceful sterilization of an ethnic group, which Canada was doing. And I remember when Trudeau, a couple of years ago, was making these genocide accusations against China based on, I think, some of these, I would argue, biased reports against China. At the same time he's doing this, it's beautiful. It's beautiful in this political sense that Canada was ungraving mass graveyards of Native Canadian children in the Catholic schools that were murdering them in graves, mass graves. And Canada has a long history of sterilizing them as well. Anyway, so I'm surprised that DeepSeek went to this, didn't censor itself. And then it even specified a lawyer. So here's this guy. I'm assuming this is the guy. Now he's the member of, according to this, Democratic Progressive Party. Now people are like, what? There's other political parties in China? Yes, there are. They don't have any real, let's say, legislative or decision-making power. But according to my colleague at Changzhou University, who's also a member of some kind of liberal party, they meet with the Communist Party and they share their ideas how things should be, and they listen. There's a communication. So anyway, I don't see any contact for him, but interesting that the DeepSeek suggested someone. Keep detailed records of all your interactions with courts, petitions, any responses. Check. Yeah. Challenging to navigate is an understatement. Extreme understatement. Persistence and documentation are key. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, then I asked, what is the contact information for this guy? And it censored itself. And again, it censored itself. Third time, it didn't censor it. But the other two times it censored itself, it was, well, we'll get to that. So basically, I thought this was interesting from DeepSeek because I would assume it would censor itself based on what it said. And let me show you what it says. The sensitive nature of his work, which is suing the government. So, suing the government, suing under administrative law. And it's saying that maybe his contact information is not listed for safety and privacy reasons because these lawyers face risks. And I was like, ooh, who are these risks from? Well, we'll get to that. And then again, it mentions these. I'm not familiar with this institution. This one I think is biased. I think this one's biased. I'm a political science student. I've seen these institutions talk bad about Cuba, which I will defend forever. And Gaddafi too. Like nothing. They never mention Gaddafi's highest HDI index in Africa and how much he invested in his people and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is like from 10 years ago when I was a student. I remember determining back then. Maybe it's improved. Unlikely. It's just another U.S. aid NGO to me. So grain of salt. Anyway, and then it says lawyers handling sensitive cases in China often operate under significant pressure. Okay. Then I asked this again, like suggest some more lawyers. And it says lawyers, significant risks, again, details not public to protect them. And it suggested this website. This is a Chinese website, .cn. All China Lawyers Association. Interesting. God, these websites are just. What is this? Who do you think is reading this? Business advancement. Like, you need to split this. I don't know. This is just hard to navigate. Front page, political, judicial, national lawyers. Navigating Chinese bureaucracy. Jeez. I need to do something more productive with my life. I need to wrap this stuff up, honestly. I should be paid by the Chinese government for the work I'm putting in for a Chinese public prosecutor to use and get his career going. But, again, this doesn't look something with a list of lawyers, business, judicial, political. What's the political one? It's just like news clips. This is all articles. Anyway, seek referrals, China, Shanghai Legal Aid Center. So this would be, I don't know. I thought this was the 12348 number, but like I said, 12345 is the only one that speaks English. International. Again, that guy, this guy. So I asked it, like you said, lawyers face significant risks, and you mentioned this guy faced significant challenges. Please elaborate. And it censored itself. So I think DeepSeek was trained on a lot of Western media because, yeah. Well, let's see where it censors itself. Harassment, intimidation, loss of license, arrest, detention. This 709 crackdown, I remember looking up a while ago. Freedom of speech, land rights, arrest and trial, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are, yes, these are threatening social stability. Yeah. Wow, it didn't censor itself. Oh, there it goes. Now it censors itself. Okay. Funny. Again, I am a student of these color revolutions in Eastern Europe, the Arab Spring. I'm familiar with the National Endowment for Democracy and USAID and whatever other NGOs, how they operate. Um, I'm just trying to find a lawyer. Okay. Because I'm trying to sue the Yangpu Public Security Bureau under police law and state compensation law. I don't give a shit about freedom of speech and blah 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 whatever like that, you know. Giving me the same answers. Again, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that these answers are like this because when I go to these first and second intermediate courts trying to sue the police, the expression and the fear I can see on the faces of the people. And I bet no foreigner in their entire court history ever tried to even file an application like this. Um, because I think these districts are just they're little kingdoms. They're all these little corrupt flies and tigers, you know. I just wish someone in Beijing, who in Beijing is responsible for the misbehavior of local people's courts. I mean, it's ridiculous. It suggests to go directly to the Supreme People's Court, but under the jurisdictional hierarchy in Shanghai, you go from People's Courts to the Intermediary Court. The Intermediary Court is in charge of various lower level People's Courts. And then the High Court's in charge of the Intermediary Courts. Jesus. Okay. Oh, it's giving a big answer here. So it gave this answer. It gave this answer before. People's Congress also I have on my list. Anyway, going back to my quest to get these documents. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It's how much time I've spent on this. And then I have my other quest to submit. How many rejections? First attempt, second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt. I documented everything. Like, it's, believe me, what I tell you, I'm backing up with evidence. I'm not just ideologically anti-China and everything in China is garbage and blah blah blah. Like, no, I'm being very specific who's garbage. And these Yangpu and second intermediary courts and these judges, they are, to me, it's so obvious they're corrupt, they're lazy, they're incompetent. It's so obvious. And I honestly, if it was in the 1960s in China and I was in China and they were in China back then, they'd be on my list to go and, do what people did during the Cultural Revolution. Because it's just, why are you in a position of power? And how is Beijing not hammering these people? Like, that's the question I really have, is why is Beijing, specifically the Supreme People's Court, making these laws? Okay, I'm not making up these rights. I'm taking it from the Supreme People's Court's laws. Okay? Like, why are they passing these laws? And then when the people courts don't enforce them, who do I complain to? Well, we'll see. I'm gonna complain to Supreme People's Court. I'm gonna see if they respond. But I would imagine in this country, 1.4 billion, and how many provinces and how many special administrative zones and all the issues going on, if I would ever get a response in a decade, you know what I mean? Um, it just begs the question, why are you making these laws? You don't enforce them. Are you really like America? Like, you advertise falsely to fool your people, thinking your country is, run by rules and regulations? Like, you're a sovereign country. If you don't want to have these rules and regulations, just don't have them. Because people like me, who are very logical, we look at rules and regulations to protect our rights. And this is the number one reason I would never start a business in China. I would never want to live in China. This is the number one reason right here, is these rules and regulations are not being enforced. And the people who are supposed to be enforcing them are corrupt. And when I complain to their higher authorities, I'm getting ignored, or I'm getting the runaround. Oh, it's not my jurisdiction, it's their jurisdiction. It's a never ending bureaucratic nightmare. So it's just my journey today. What else can we ask DeepSeek? Um, there is a public record of all the court cases. There is a government website here. You can search up every single case. You can even search in a lawyer's name and it'll find the cases that his name was in, that he was participating in. You got civil, criminal, administrative, compensated, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Um, I'm wondering if DeepSeek has been trained on this information. Total number of documents, 152 million. Total number of visits, 116 billion. Okay. Again, it's just a bureaucratic nightmare navigating everything. But let's ask DeepSeek. Do you have access to, or have you been trained on the information from this website? All they need to do is just no. They just need to connect AI to the legal system and get rid of all the clerks and intermediary bullshit judges and all this. The AI is better, in my opinion. Even just using AI as a search function of the website would make everything so much easier. Promote transparency. Why don't you just automatically upload the transcripts and videos instead of just the court decision? You know, like I understand if there is a law that says if there's state secrets or, like intellectual property at discussion during the hearing, then it cannot be publicly blah blah blah, right? But my stuff is a labor dispute. Nothing's sensitive, nothing's state secrets. It should just automatically be uploaded. Okay, let's try to see if we can find my Yangpu court decision on that website. I think I tried before and it wasn't back when this decision in October was first made. Maybe it's been updated. So um, let's find the number. Okay, here's the number. I need the Chinese of it. Here it is. Paste, search. Nothing, huh? No data yet. Okay. Well, we know the decision was in October of 2024. So let's look at Shanghai. Shanghai, 5 million cases. First, second intermediary, Marine Court. Where's the People's Courts? Supreme, High, Intermediate, Grassroots Courts. Okay, here we go. Yangpu District People's Court. That's the one. Okay, here's the publishing. You can see it's very recent, and it's about 2 weeks behind. All right, so now we go to my year, 2024. And in 2024, it had 4,000 cases in all its departments. Can we search by month? Year? No, nothing, just year. All right, next we go to type of case. Let's look at labor dispute. Personal rights, marriage, proper contract, management, unjust enrichment, intellectual property, labor disputes. 176. In the whole year of Yangpu People's District Court, they only had 176 labor disputes. Like, what is going on? 1.5 million people. And if you don't know where Yangpu is, it's basically the center. Okay, this is the center here. That tower that you always see advertised as like the picture of Shanghai. Where's the tower? That tower. That's right here. And then this is like Nanjing tourist walking street. Like this is Jing'an. This is the center really. Like Jing'an Temple. Um, so in the whole year, 176 people had a contract dispute. Okay. So here we have November 29th, October 29th, September 4th. What? August 21st. August. Where's October? Where's my case? Yangpu People's Court, 2024 labor dispute. Was it filed under, maybe it was filed under labor contract? Oh, I closed it again. Labor disputes, civil disputes. Where? No, let's go look at the decision again. Labor contract dispute. So, you know what? Let's keep all the cases up. Let's just go to October. I did this once before when the decision was made and I couldn't find it. It's still December. Let's do this. December. Whoa, we got September. No, no, no. Okay, October. October. September. Okay. September. September 30th. October 8th. Private loan dispute Mao and Lu. Wang and Kang. Zhang and Guo. Li and Lu. Huang and Zhang. I don't see a name on this one. Company 1, Company 2, Zhu Zhao. This is October 9th. And the actual decision was, which date? I didn't translate. I think it was early, I think it was October 14th. Just curious. Is this not going to translate? No, not me. Property preservation, Chan and Yuan. Okay, we continue. So this is October 9th. Su Wang Liu. I think we already did that one. October 10th. Property preservation. Huang and Shi. Hu and some company. Civil dispute. Application withdrawn. Huang and Yang. Sumi 1, Sumi 2. Sumi 3, yo. Okay, October 12th, vehicle traffic, preservation, lit preservation, Wei and Tong, October 15th, Gao Yang, Mao Mao 1, Mao Mao 2, October 16th, inheritance. So these are all the judge's decisions on these cases. You can actually look up the decision like this, what I got. But it's bullshit. My decision is based on bullshit. It's based on the judge ignoring everything and just throwing out everything. Like there was nothing mentioned wrong that I made accusations with all the evidence I had. Like none of my evidence was considered. So all these decisions, I just don't give a shit because I want to see the court hearings and transcripts. Publish that. This is October 18th. So the number of my case, 1725. 1725. All right, we can do this quickly. Control F, 1725. Nothing. All right, we go to the next page. 1725, nothing. Well, is this function working? 139? Yeah, it's working. So 1725. We'll go to the next page. This is October 24th. Like I already appealed it the 21st. So yeah, you can see here basically I searched the entire year, the entire month of all the different types of cases at Yangpu People's Court. And my stuff doesn't exist. And this is not the first time. My other court case in Guangdong at the People's Court also doesn't exist on this website. So it's very obvious they're trying to hide foreign related stuff or their own corruption because they got bribed or whatever. They hate me, whatever their reason for behaving like they did. You know, it's not here. It's not here. So year 2024. Let's double check again. I don't want to make baseless accusations. Okay, here's the case number 1725. Okay. And I wish I could read Chinese, but I'm showing you guys. I'm pretty sure it says October 2024. Okay. And I know I have 15 days to appeal to the intermediary court. And I remember I took a week to file this. So I got the decision, yeah, I think on the 14th. Okay, because I filed this on the, this is wrong, it should be 21st. Yeah. Date created October 19th. Yeah, so I just mixed up these two numbers. Okay. Um, so yeah, this is just me in a moment of creating a list of people to complain about the Yangpu People's Court and the Intermediary Court and all that kind of stuff. I need to update this because I also petitioned the High Court, and they sent me a text message, 12368, which I haven't put in here. But basically, let's see if I can pull that up. So yeah, it's just too many court cases and stuff going on. That's why I need to wrap this stuff up. Um, I sent a letter to the High Court. Like I complained to them. Where did I? This is when I sent it to be printed. It's in my desktop. Uh, Hold on. Explore. Desktop Shanghai. Where is it on my desktop? I don't even see it. Oh, it's right here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this needs to be added because I'm organizing this folder as everything related just to get the Yangpu court to release its records. So this needs to be added. Sorry, I'm doing it by date created. So we add that. So I complained to the High Court under the judge's law. So I'm accusing my judge at Yangpu of being corrupt, basically. So under Article 46 of the judge's law, concealing, forging, falsifying, or intentionally destroying evidence or case materials. Concealing is pretty self-evident. She's not releasing it. And then the video that they showed me of my case, I would argue is intentionally destroying evidence because they edited out all English conversation between myself and my interpreter, which is just strange to me. Like someone took the effort of listening to the entire 15 hours through 3 different hearings and just muting every time I or my interpreter were communicating with each other in English. So maybe this is normal procedure, but I don't know. I would say it's tampering with evidence. Obviously, I'm accusing them of favoritism or being bribed because you'll see when I publish the online hearing and compare it to a decision, what a joke, how wrong it was. So I'm assuming she got bribed or she just hated me or favored them. Anyway. And also in accordance with Article 48 of this law, blah, 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 so there should be a disciplinary committee to examine and determine whether the judge has violated their duties in accordance with whatever this subsection of the law. So I demand this committee examine it and provide whether there has been violation or gross negligence or minor negligence or no violation of duties. So I want someone some people on this committee to go through my cases and determine and put their stamp on it, their name on it, and publicly tell me in writing if they think also there is nothing wrong or if there is something wrong. So this was January 3rd. I sent this to the High Court. And every time I send the mail out, I take a video of it. Okay. English and Chinese version, date, signature. Now in this complaint to the High Court, I put another complaint. So one against the Yangpu judge, and then one against the second intermediary court for not accepting this administrative lawsuit against the police, which I've tried submitting 5 times now. And then every page of it, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, I give it to the guy. He then seals it, stamps it with the tracking number. And yeah, there's no dispute if they got it. So anyway, I got a text message from the court 6 days later. And I need to translate this. But basically, they received this and they relayed it to Yangpu People's Court, which is just, I don't know. You know, separation of powers exists for common sense reasons. You don't have someone accused of being bad investigate themselves. You know, I understand the judge is not going to investigate herself, but she works in the same building of her colleagues and they are friends. And obviously, there is a conflict of interest there for impartiality. But basically, this translates to, yeah, we sent it back to People's Court of Yangpu, the judge's law complaint or whatever. And yeah, there's been no response since then. So it's been more than a month and a half. And then my complaint about the second intermediary court also got a text message. Is this the same one? No, it's different. Again, I need to translate this because I'm not sure what I'm looking at. But off the top of my memory, I believe this says it was also transferred to the intermediary court. And I did get another text message from the intermediary court saying, we already gave you a response. That's it. So I'm telling the High Court petitions office, hey, your intermediary court. I mean, let's just look at it here. I told the High Court in this letter, I've tried 5 separate times. Okay, and I'm being run around in circles. The first time it was rejected was this reason. And then the second time it wasn't. And then the third time it wasn't. It was always a different little reason. And then the 5th time they go back to saying there's no legal basis. Okay? Anyway, I believe I made a video about this earlier. What the? I don't know. I'm making these videos just off the top of my head because I just needed to get it out there. Ah, yes, okay. The original ones. All right. So, yeah, like, why is the High Court telling them to investigate themselves? Like, it's just a joke. Where is the hierarchy? Where is the authority in charge of lower level courts when they are not behaving? You know? Anyway. So, that's my experience. I'm trying to just right now organize these 2 quests. So, date created. Is it all January? Yes. Okay. Okay. I like to have it in chronological order. folders, unfortunately, do not abide by date-created rules. I don't know. Let's ask DeepSeek more questions. Number one, if a court case was held and a decision made, but it was appealed, would the decision show up on that website? Maybe I'm trying to be objective here. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe because I appealed it, they didn't publish the lower court's decision. But according to this, it would be still published even if it's appealed. Again, like I said, there are laws that say if there's, personal privacy or state secrets or minors or politically or socially sensitive. Maybe this is socially sensitive. Maybe they don't want to show how teachers in China, foreign teachers in China, can be treated like this by courts. And there's a teacher's law in China where, we are teacher's law. We're supposed to be like, we have higher rights than a regular civilian. We're supposed to be more respected, that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know if that applies to foreign teachers or just teachers in general, but anyway, file a petition. Yeah, I'm gonna file another petition. Hey, Supreme Court, they're not giving me my records and the video. They're violating your own Article 10 of, this. And by the way, they also didn't even put the decision on the website yet. It's been a couple months. Oh, by the way, also the Shaoguan People's Court has done the same thing. They haven't published anything either, or released those video or transcript records. Like, it's never ending. Like, this experience of mine isn't just Shanghai, it's relative to Guangdong. And I thought Guangdong, okay, the judges were bad, fine. In a small town like that, I expected it. But procedurally, Shaoguan would communicate through email and add me on WeChat. And at least one of the courts gave me the transcripts, the arbitration court. But then you come to Shanghai and it's like even worse. They don't even communicate. Everything is a text message from 12368, which is the one-way communication. They don't respond to your mail. If they do try to respond, they try to call you in Chinese. Anyway, what else can we ask DeepSeek? So basically, it said if it's not published, the decision's not published, then just file another petition with the Supreme Court. Fine, I will. Believe me, before I leave China, I'm gonna have like 20 petitions out there at least. I think. And 3 open court cases, hopefully. I got 2 right now. No, I should have 4. Hopefully 4 court cases open. All right, what else? What else do we ask DeepSeek here? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know what else we can ask. It's pretty late right now, and just organizing all my stuff really drained me. Um, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what to summarize with. What was this video about? Where did we begin? Um, so in summary, we began with my experience trying to um, obtain the records of the court I had at Yangpu People's Court, and basically how I've been trying to get it, how the intermediary court, you know, accepted and then didn't really help me, how the high court hasn't really done anything for me either in my petition. Um, we also talked about my quest in trying to file a lawsuit, administrative lawsuit, under police law, state compensation law against Yangpu Public Security Bureau. By the way, the two cases are interconnected because this employer that I'm suing in my labor dispute was colluding with this officer that I want to sue, who illegally canceled my um, Guangdong residence visa and my new Shanghai residence visa before I was fired or quit or anything happened. Um, Not to mention anything else. But anyway, yeah, so that's what we talked about. And then we talked about deepseeks sort of answers to how to report on these courts who are not behaving properly. And it provided a lot of lists. It talked about um, some lawyers. It even talks about how lawyers who pursue administrative law cases are harassed. I would imagine it's not Beijing policy. Otherwise, Beijing would just not have these laws. Um, it's these flies, these little tigers and these flies, and these local districts who um, who act with impunity, and they abuse their position of power because no one's overseeing them. Um, so yeah, that's basically the summary of this random video I'm making. Hour and 12 minutes. I guess this is just for my I don't know. I don't know why I'm making these videos. I really need to put in the effort to and my camera was off the whole time. Great. Anyway, I'm really putting in the effort. I need to put in the effort to really just organize everything. Um, send out all the petitions and letters to the appropriate authorities about all the different problems I've encountered. And then I need to start making videos. It's just, for me, it's a lot of tedious work. Um, and there's no reward from this because I don't expect any positive outcome from this. In fact, this is probably going to blacklist me from any future employer in any country. Uh, People don't like to hire people who know about law and fight like I do when they think their rights are violated. Um, Especially because, like, I've just shown everybody that, yeah, I record conversations secretly and whatever, you know? Um, so that's why I'm procrastinating. It's like, there's a lot of risk here. Um, which is fine. Like, I understand that I'm gonna have to probably suffer this um, in the future of my life, and that's something I'm willing to accept to continue doing what I believe is the right thing to do. And yeah, but it is a reason why I just don't feel motivated because there's no benefit from all this, really. I don't think any of these videos will ever get any sort of real attention to monetize the channel, or not even monetize, just like get people you know, sympathetic to my cause, that we band together, we help each other. I mean, I have a few people that are interested, but you know, um, it takes a lot of effort to just understand how the system here in China works, or how it doesn't work, I should say. Um, and then there's this language barrier, because like, I'll get something from like a text message or whatever, and then I'll put it in my folder, but it's not translated. So then I need to go, put this in my phone, have my phone screen translate it, screenshot it, send it back to the computer, put this in Paint, put the two side by side, date it. Um, that's a lot of work just for a picture. Now, can you imagine all the audio recordings, like phone conversation recordings, hearing recordings? Like, it's a lot of just tedious work. So I'm really procrastinating on this kind of stuff. Um, but I have nothing else to do, because like I'll procrastinate by starting another project, and I basically finished um, my other project, which I want to go back to Canada and execute. I want to do something productive. So I have my whole like van plan. Um, I even made like a 3D model. It's like I learned how to use this program and create everything. That's that's what I'm doing, you know. And like I do have another court case. So like my life in China has been kind of funny and tragic. So I started in Changzhou University and I quit because they were violating the contract with the living conditions. Um, and then I went to Guiyang, and there they try to let me sign a yin yang contract. And I thought that was suspicious, and I just walked away from that job. So then last minute, I found a job in Shaoguan, and I worked there for a year, and I didn't miss one single class. I wasn't even late once. But they decided that I should not get my summer salary because I asked for my release documents in June, which was like 3 weeks before my summer visa ended. And they're like, oh, well, this is technically you quitting early. Even though I kept working for June, they pay June, but they wouldn't pay my summer salary. So that's what started my whole legal journey, and revealing like the tax fraud and stuff they were doing, um, with also like a yin yang contract. Um, and then I went to a Shenzhen international school, and I was there for like a month in August, and it was a joke. It was a joke school. Um, and I got fired actually because the HR pissed off because I learned the law, and I got mad at my HR for not knowing the law, which would have protected my summer salary if she just did a transfer of my visa according to a normal schedule instead of around her summer vacation. And then she took it personal and got me fired basically. But whatever, it was a joke school anyway. I wouldn't want to work there. And then I couldn't work for 6 months because it was already like late September. There was COVID and stuff like that still going on. And then I went to the Shanghai Montverde School, which is what this court case is about. And there, again, I got into trouble because I got mad at my boss for lying to me that the contract um, was faked because the school doesn't have a license to employ foreign teachers. So again, they did this yin yang contract. They signed my name on some fake contract for an education consultant under a different company and a different address. And when I complained about it, it was supposed to be solved. And then solved in June, and then the last day of June, I'm like, okay, where's my work permit card? And they're giving me bullshit reasons why they're not giving my work permit card. And I went to the Public Security Bureau, and that's where I discovered all this fraud. And then and then 2 weeks after I reported them for the fraud, they fired me over bullshit reasons, which I won. I won in the arbitration court, like my salary and missing pay and stuff like that. But the Yangpu People's Court's about not being able to work for another 6 months, because they wouldn't give me my documents in time. And by the time I got the documents, again, it was late September, and no one's hiring teachers in late September. So I'm suing them for loss of pay and the contract fraud, and it's now at the intermediary court, And then in January, I got hired by this Minhang school, Crosspoint, and I thought everything was fine. But my first day on the vacation, I get fired. And I got fired because I heard gossip that one teacher who was anti-China, and I got into an argument about his stupid anti-China position at a bar the night before I went overseas to my vacation. The next day, he was at a bar with my boss talking shit about me. And another teacher who saw the first confrontation and was overhearing this teacher talking shit about me told me. And then I heard about it, so I went to my boss to address it, and he's like, "You're fired." Just like that, really. And then, so that case went on, and they offered my job back after the first hearing on arbitration court. But they wouldn't pay me the missing summer salary, so I told them to fuck off. I'll see you in court. And then I went to the second arbitration hearing, and I lost in the same manner that the Yangpu People's Court is screwing me. Just ignore all the evidence. Don't give me any of the video records, transcripts, blah blah blah. So I have this one in People's Court right now. I'm waiting for it, but I'm not staying in China for it anymore. Like I don't have any hope. I would stay in China if I had any shred of expectation of a fair hearing. So, like I said, in China, it's been like every single employer has been doing shenanigans. Every single one. But obviously, if I tell to someone, a stranger, a prospective employer, yeah, every single school I have problems with legally. I think they violate me at labor rights or entry exit law or whatever, and I didn't like that. I reported them. I'm never getting hired. So there's literally no reason. Actually, I was gonna get hired by. I had a job lined up. Like when I got fired, I found a job in September to start in February in Foshan. That's what this one is. So I'm suing this school because the day I was supposed to move there, um, which one is it? Let's look at it. No. Okay. So like in December, I'm doing the lesson plans, like the syllabus, the unit plan. Like I'm submitting these things for his approval. Like I'm doing work. We're arranging the date I can come there on the 15th. And I got hired. Here goes September 24th. And where's the email? Basically, I don't know. Suddenly they were like, we need to talk to your previous school's HR. Can I not put it? Oh, here it is. So I got this email on literally the day I was supposed to move there. And they're basically saying, oh, you didn't give the documents because in the contract you sign after 7 days, you need to submit all your documents. It was September. I didn't even have the documents back then. So it was like, this is just like a pretext. And I even told him about my labor dispute with this. I mean, this will be another video against this guy, you know. But basically, he says it here. Um, it, you know, he doesn't know anything about my case at all. He just knows I'm in a legal dispute. Doesn't know anything of the story. But he does know I'm the plaintiff, you know. So we would rather you work out your legal issues with your current school before attempting to join us here. Again, no conversation. It was suddenly like, anyway, that'll be another video. I'm gonna shame this foreign prick. But anyway, so this is my whole legal journey in China. I just need to conclude it. Hopefully, maybe someone will learn from my experience, and hopefully it's of some value to them. And hopefully I could use this in a future PhD or master's degree if I continue to pursue some sort of legal qualification. This may be useful as well, but yeah, I am basically giving up any future teaching career, and in general, any career in the future, because most employers, and I speak with someone who was working in the finance industry. I worked at branch 89845 at Edward Jones, and I was trying to unionize people because I got tired of these bosses taking advantage of me and my fellow workers. And anyway, this was something I back in 2019 I was doing before I came to China. So yeah, like I'm an idiot fighter. If I just kept my head down, I would be a lot more richer, but I wouldn't be the same person I am today. And I'd rather be looking back on myself uh, with some pride, you know. I don't need money as much as I did before, and before I was still like this when I had no money. So hope somebody can appreciate me, because that's what this probably really is deep down. I'm just looking for support and acceptance, you know. Anyway, 4 a.m. rant. I'm gonna upload this raw. Don't think anyone's gonna listen to this, but yeah, if something happens to me in China, I suddenly disappear, it'll be related to something like this. Um, yeah, and I expect you guys to sift through everything I put out there and avenge me. um, yeah, anyway, good night, guys.